All right, here we go. Let's go again. Yep.
Genesis 1:10. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. Arrangements, grouping, categorizing are manifestations of order.
You see our components of order. Components of order are arrangements, grouping, categorizing, management, division, demarcation, separation. All those things are categories of order. So God called the dry land earth. You remember where that is coming from? And the gathering together of the waters called the seas. You remember where that is coming from? He wanted the firmament and the earth, where that is, and then what he wanted and what he didn't want, right? He's now rebranding them and making them into separate products. You see, there is no more creation here, but arrangement of things, proper placement of things. And God saw that it was good.
Genesis 1:11-12. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruits, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Now, that's the real deal.
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So,
according to
its kind points to the principle of order.
Yeah. According to his kind, it means order. According to its kind, its type. So each type and each category is organized according to the precepts of what they are, according to their species. So according to his kind, that is talking about order. You see, this whole chapter is more about order than even creation.
Genesis 1:14-15. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. A job description is an act of order.
You see, this is job description here. He said, and God said, let there be light in the firmament of heaven to divide the day. What is he supposed to do? That's job description. Have you heard of the concept of job description? Job description is in every company. It means that whenever you want to have order, you must have job description. If you want to have order, always have job description. If you have anything you create, always have a manual. That's where the idea of manuals come from. Manuals to television, to anything you produce, manuals. And this is what God is doing here. He's giving job description to the light, to the firmament, to the day, to the night, to the seasons. You see, he said, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide. What is he supposed to do? To divide the day from the night. That is the job of the light in the firmament. That's why we have what are the lights in the firmament? We're talking about the stars, the moon, the sun. They divide. That is different from the original light that God created. So those lights in the firmament now, they are the ones that divide the day from the night. That's why at night, the sun moves to the other side. Here, there is no sun now. Why? Because it's night here. But in the other place, it is day. It divides the day. That's job description. And let them be for signs and for season. And that's why we have winter. You have summer. You have spring. You have fall. It's all created in this place. And it's no more creation. It's just order. It is order that creates time. It is order that creates season. It is order that creates, winter, summer, and all those things. And for days and years, and let them be for night in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and so it was. That is job description right there. Job description is an act of order. If for you to have order, you need job description. That's what it means. Anything you do, always make sure you put job description. Not just job description for human beings. One of the things that people do is that they put job descriptions only for human beings. But as we see from the example of God here, job description is necessary not just for humans, but for products as well and for things. Now, are you people sure we have enough cookies and candies there today? You have enough, okay. Do we have coffee and tea as well? Okay, so that the beautiful lady here doesn't go to sleep on me. Somebody help her with some candies and cookies. Okay, here we go. Let's we watch we watch the video, let's keep on going. Okay.
Genesis 1:16-19. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
The greater light are the moon and the sun. So he's just telling us that everything has its place. This is order. This manifestation of order that you see here. For example, he says, and God made the greater light to rule the day. The lesser light, those are the stars, to rule the night. He made the stars also, the moon and the stars, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide. You see, divide. That's also order right there. Divide the light from the darkness. Divide. That's demarcation, what we spoke about. Demarcation, what we spoke about. And God saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. That is also job description for you. And creation. The process of creation is happening through order. Order is what is giving birth to all these new products that we are saying.
Genesis 1:20-23. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that had life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day.
What is this all talking about? This is talking about purpose, goals, targets, calling. All these things, purpose. Anytime we talk about purpose, you are talking about order, really. Anytime we talk about goals, you are talking about order. Anytime we talk about targets, you are actually talking about order. Anytime you talk about calling, it is order you are talking about. For example, all of us are here. When you help, let's say a pastor. One of the key secrets for me to be a successful pastor is that I use the principle of order. How? Let's say you have 100 people in your church. Through the principle of order, help everybody to discover their purpose, their calling, give them job descriptions on how to get that calling accomplished, release them into it, everyone into his own land, everyone into his own land of promise. Teach them how to conquer it. That is order. By putting management, structure, system into everybody that you have in church, helping everybody, guiding everybody to walk in their calling, putting order, not just having a crowd of people coming to church. That is how 100 people could be used to turn around the whole country. For example, let me have 3 or 4 or 5 people. Please stand. put on the light as well. Yeah. So just mention an area of life, and every one of you. Maybe what you like, what you want to influence. Football, sports. Okay, you are sports. Come close. Yep. Next one. Education. Okay. Health. Okay. Okay, but you say some business. Let's say business. Okay. Let's say these are 4 members of my church. These people are enough for me to win Nigeria, or England, or America, or France, or Scandinavia, or Holland. Is enough. But the ideal, I always tell people, have 10. Maybe 100, but out of 100, just make sure that you have 10 that will work out for you, that you will train. If I put order in place, the principle of order, through the principle of order, we can win a whole nation. So what I need to do as a pastor is to make sure that I help each and every one of them. I help him to identify where his passion lies. And he has just said it, business. So what I will do is I will make him to make a list, order, because you don't just say business. What are the areas of business? What are the kind of businesses that exist in this country? We make a list of all the businesses. Where are they located? What is the population of people in total that are in business in this city? Where are they? Where could they be found? What are the things that appeal to them? What are the problems bordering this category of businessmen? What are their challenges? Okay, now how can I provide solutions for them? So teach him, these are the problems banking industry people are encountering. Let's write a proposal and solutions, because the challenges they are having is that there is corruption there. People are stealing, or people don't come to work on time. Anything that is the problem. We write, provide solution, write a proposal with solution. Then these people are in the factories. They don't have raw materials on time and something like that. We have a proposal for them. These ones are in the workers in the schools. They don't have salary on time or whatever. Whatever their problems are, we are profiling and writing proposals for their problems, and that is our bridge. That is the bridge. So that is description. That is job description right there. So he has identified his passion. He has identified where they are, location. He has identified the problems that they have. Why does he need to identify their problems? He needs a bridge between him and them. He needs to come to them with a proposal that, oh, you have this problem, I have answer for you. That becomes the bridge for him to be able to cross over from where he is to where they are. And he's able to get connected to them. So by the time he starts, but there are so many banks, there are so many factories, there are so many other things. That's why he needs his own team as well. He gets a team of 10 people that are also interested in that banking or in business or in that other. He trains them. Every one of them trains their own. So he trains one for banking, he trains one for factories, he trains one for workers in the schools. And all of them also study something, write proposals. That's how they enter into the place. Because everybody wants solution. We give them the solution. So that's its own. What's your own? This health. So we say, how many hospitals do we have in the city? How many ones do we lack? How many ones, what are they lacking? What are their challenges? So we do the same thing, do analysis. This is order. So I'm the pastor. I'm just a pastor. So as a pastor, I shouldn't keep people sitting there in my church just coming to jump and dance. It's a waste of resources. As a pastor, I shouldn't keep people in my church just coming to wait and say we want to receive something from God. No. I am here as a pastor to let them see clearly how they could become a king. He is a king in his own sphere of influence. He is a king in his own that sphere of influence, in the area of health, the area of business, in the area of education. I give them principles of order, how they could use order to bring dominion to their own areas. So that way, by the time he goes into all those areas of business, he's already controlling and ruling and managing thousands of people. That's why every believer you see here, they are influencing thousands of people, or millions sometimes. By the time he touches and builds a system for all the health structures and infrastructures in the country, he's already influencing, he alone, and they're just my members, he alone is already reaching out to millions or thousands. By the time education, he goes to all the schools and builds, strategies for them, proposals, and, prefer solutions for them. He's already reaching millions of students. Sports, the same thing. That is what a pastor is. And that is how one person, one church, one pastor is elementary to build 1,000 church members or thousands of membership church. But in any church, what you have, these four, you should have more members in the country than you have in the church. Because in the church, what you have is just the workers, the people who are, but people are now using church members to determine. No, you should use not how many you have in the hall to determine how much you have, but how many people they are reaching. That's what you should use. If you have 10,000 here and they are not reaching another 10,000, they are pastoring out there, then you don't have a church. You only have this little cult, but not a church. Because the church is all about, go ye therefore and make disciples, not here, there, of all nations. That's what church. So the people who are in the we call congregation, they are supposed to be trained to pastor. He said he had compassion upon them because they are sheep without shepherd. So the idea of church is to train sons and daughters, men and women that will pastor and be shepherding sheep that we shall shepherd out there in the city, in the country. So we are not supposed to be pastoring church congregations building. We are supposed to be pastoring nations. That's why God didn't build a building. That's why Jesus never had a building. That's why the disciples never had a building. Because that's not the concept. The concept is pastoring nations, not pastoring building. Disciples are the ones who now pastor and rule over nations. Thank you, guys. Just through the principle of order. Even if I have 1,000 people like that, that's the way. Successful pastor is the one that successfully puts order and arranges all members according to their calling. And if I have 10,000, 10,000 must be arranged like that and set out to go and influence. So the more I'm able to manage and put in the right order every person under me, the more I'm successful as a leader. You people don't get it. You got it? That's what pastoring is about. Pastoring is not managing in-house. What instrument are we going to buy? What clothes are the choir going to wear? Are you serious? You deserve. You are wasting God's resources. You are a non-entity. I'm sorry for the word. When I begin to talk like this, they say I'm something. But you are wasting God's resources. You are a nuisance. It's a catastrophe. You are making those people to be coming to church every day instead of them to be going to their field of influence. To the visiting hospitals and be managing them there. To be going to the business centers and be managing them there. To be going to the schools and managing them there. You are telling them to come to church. So when will they go? When will they even discover? You are telling them they are businessmen, they are professionals. You are telling them to stand in the usher and stand like this every Sunday, and they say that's their own ministry, to stand and say, welcome, sit down. Is that ministry? Soon computer will be able to do that. That is your seat. That is your seat. You are putting a whole human being with head, with brain. You know what brain means? To come and sit down and say, hey, come and sit down. We are ushers or what they call welcomers or greeters. A doctor. And then the women, because they are women, you went and put something on their head and on their head, neck and say they have to be old makeup for them. Say, this is that day, this is that day. For 20 years. Are they not human beings? a wastage, disorderliness, an abuse of order, an abuse of resources. When a human being is writing 300 books, writing at least 20 new books or 50 new books in a year, you are keeping them, making them to come to church every day. They don't have time for family, they don't have time for children, they don't have time for anything. They're just being wasting everything, destroying everything around them. And they will die one day. And they will regret that they were even here on earth because they just wasted the whole thing. They didn't even discover what to do. Please, I beg, put off this something. Yeah, read something for me.
Genesis 1:20-23. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful, and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day.
And that's what I'm talking about. That what you just saw, those are description of purpose, allocation of purpose. Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life. That is goal. That is the target. That is pointing out the purpose. That is saying you are here for something. Waters, you have a purpose. Even water has purpose. Waters bring forth abundantly. What to bring forth? Moving creature. What kind of living creature? That have life. That is purpose, goals, target, job description, calling, and all that. That's part of order. And fowl that may fly above the ocean, above the earth, in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that move, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply and fill the. You see, that is purpose. Do this, do that, do this. Be fruitful, multiply. That is purpose. That is what God is expecting from them and from us too. Don't just come on the earth and stand there and say you are greater, or you are, usher, or you are singing. Fruit, where is the fruit? Okay, you have sung enough. Where is the multiplication? If birds are multiplying, fowls are multiplying, creatures, moving creatures are multiplying, even water is multiplying its creation. What are you doing, human being, who is supposed to be the crown of all these things? And fill the waters in the sea, and let the fowl multiply in the earth, and the evening and the morning by the fifth day. So that is all a result of order. Go ahead.
The order teaches you to save time.
Order teaches you how to preserve time, save time. When you have order, you save yourself a lot of time. Let's go to one of those videos that we were supposed to show. Now, yeah, let it play, but just without sound. Now, what are we seeing here? What we are seeing here is a country that is one of the poorest countries in Europe. Now, the poorest country in Europe, but poorest, this country is poorer than Lagos. This is a country is poorer than Lagos, but see, this is a whole country. I'm not saying it's poorer than Nigeria, poorer than Lagos. Stop. But you see, no, let it be plain. Let it be plain. It's okay. You see trees? That is order. It's like heaven. Because they put order. They grow trees. And you think these trees are by accident? Stop. They are not by accident. You know why these trees? Because there is a rule in that country. For every tree that is cut, you must plant 10. Yes. In my country, for every tree cut, you plant it. Nobody plants it. Nobody is even aware you need to do anything like that. Let me tell you for another rule that they say. For every child that is born, if you give birth to a child, you must plant a tree. And everything must be arranged and agreed on where, when. So see, even though they don't have money, poverty, start again, bring the thumbs anyway. Even though the country doesn't have money, but now hospitality business, look what they are using. Look, tradition, mystery. You know, they are now using history to make money because they have peace. You see, they have serenity, they have order, and that order is now wielding them money. Now they are going to be richer than Nigeria soon. Because of order. See cities, see everything, see trees. I mean, green. See buildings, order. See streets, clean, no dust. See, birds, they are not killing them, they are not eating it. See, order. Just order. See ocean. See, this is the middle of the city. See what's happening. See order. Order alone is more than resources. Order is more than wealth. Order is the greatest wealth. It's one of the greatest wealth you could imagine. See, order. Order. Moldova. Have you ever heard of Moldova, the country? That there is a country like that? Many of you never heard. But order, you see? You would think they are Europe. And you would think that they are rich. Even Nigerians will be dreaming to live like this. You see, this is just order. Order. Nigerians will be praying for visa. They will be going to line up. They don't know that even one state in Nigeria is richer than this country. See? Everything is clean, preserved, park. See? Order, one treasure only. Order. You see? Nations, country, builds, cities. You see? You see? Order, one thing. You see, road. No go slow. No traffic. Nobody selling anything in the market. No market for road. No cooking for road. Light they burn. NEPA no they go. Make you come out for road. Give me the next one. You see? All those things we are talking about, no electricity, NEPA, is lack of order. No sewage, no water is lack of order. All that is connected to order. Order is at the root of everything. Let's see this one. Which one is this? Okay, look at transportation. Look at transportation. Electricity. In town, everything is organized. Clean, you see. I fit lie down here and sleep. No need for mattress safe. Look at the place for bicycle. You get in the road, separate. You see? You see the lady with the wheelchair? Nobody did not come down. No accident. Just thanks to order alone. They will say, they have money. Make you shut up your mouth. Come on for road. It's not about money. It's about order. This is for you to know the place of order. Job description. Instructions. Instructions. Order. All those things I was talking about. What we saw in Genesis. Demarcation. Separation. Borders. Everything is instructed. Instructions everywhere. Law and order. You see? Law and order. Instructions everywhere. Peace. See? No catastrophe. No unexpected cars going everywhere, in every direction. See all the lines? All the linear working. It's all about order, my friend. You see the trees in the city? They know they clear the tree because they want to build a house. In Nigeria, everybody will clear all the trees because they want to build a house. As if houses are more important than trees. But whereas trees are more important than houses. But in Africa, they will go and clear all the trees because they will build some rubbish house that will collapse in 20 years. You see road? You see? You see where human beings they live? This is the picture of heaven. This is what Christianity is all about. What is Christianity all about? That it will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In heaven, there are streets. So there are streets on earth. They are clean streets. Streets that so clean, they are likened to gold in heaven. That's why on earth too, streets are so clean. They must be likened to gold. You see, for the bicycles and for the people who are disabled and things like that. You see, ancient cities preserved. All these cities are over 800 years, 1,000 years. These cities. But Nigeria's towns that are Ibadan, that are just Ibadan or something that are just less than 100 years. Nothing to look at. Everything is rotten. Because no order. I know how to rebuild Ibadan fully. How to rebuild Abeokuta, and it will still bring money. And it will still be profitable. Rebuild Lagos. Make it look like Europe. I don't know why what they are using their head to do, I don't know. They will be going to spray money. That's what they are doing in Nigeria. Make you bring the light here, Jerry. Instead of them to use their money, their head to think, it is dollar they will be putting in the forehead. As if the dollar will make them work. Show me some of those videos. Let me see what they are doing in Africa with their head. It is dance from morning till night. As if there is no work to do. Frivolity everywhere. People are just dancing, as if they are created to dance. As if somebody is created to, the whole country is created just to waste time and just kill time. As if the head, as if it's just there to wear gele and head garb as all those kind of things in it. As if there is nothing in the head. The whole country just, anyway, they will write me again and say I'm sitting in America and abusing them. Okay, remove the thing. See what they are doing. You see? You see? You see what he's doing with the head? Now money him they spray there. You see what he's doing with the head? It is money he's spraying in the head. That is, that is what Nigerians want. Just dance. Instead of going to lock himself up in some solitude and put some knowledge in that head. And you see how many people are running out around him? You see? That's what they want. No need for head. No need to use head. This is what Nigerians are doing with their time. Instead of converting time into concrete products. And when Bayowa is talking about the books, people are going to go off. They are going to say, his book, you want to sell book. As if his book we are talking about. We are talking about maximizing your brain. See what people are doing with their time? This is not, every day they'll be, you look at television, either they are arguing or they are playing music. Music. What is the next move? The next steps? Rubbish upon rubbish. You see what they are doing? And that head here, what has it done? What does that head create? Yes. And then people would be give her something. Show another one. Let's see.
And then people would be boasting about Nigeria having the best music. As if music is
music is something. What do you do with music? Just for you to laugh and waste your life like that? Just for you to be jumping around everywhere? I mean, it was on my birthday when I had my birthday last time that my eyes opened. People were celebrating my birthday, and the whole thing they did for the whole party, they will gather together for 3 hours to celebrate DSA's birthday. And you know what they were doing? Jumping around and saying, he. I said, what were they doing? You are telling me they are shilling or something. Is it what they are, whatever they are saying, they say they are doing. I said, so where are the products? I can't see any product from that birthday party. They never even had it before. That even when you are having fun, you are supposed to be creating products. You don't just waste life like that. Where is the thing they play now? You don't just waste life like that. Show the one that will show page. You don't just waste a whole life on non-entity like this. Because this is only emotion. This is only emotion. This is only, the emotion is emotion. No, this is only instinct and stimulus. This is instinct, stimulus, and what's Kaka? Huh? No, instinct, impulse. This is impulse, instinct, and impulse, and stimulus. That's it. That is animalistic living. You don't need the use of mind to do this. You only need instinct and stimulation. That is biomass lifestyle. That is what we are celebrating. We are elevating animalistic qualities over, and we are burying human qualities. Qualities of a human we are burying, while we are elevating and promoting and amplifying animalistic qualities. It's no surprise that when Europeans got to Africa, they thought we were animals. And that's why they were made us slaves, because our grandfather were doing the same thing. We are still doing the same thing up to today. As if we didn't go to school again, like our grandfathers. I think they had an excuse, they didn't go to school. See what people are living their lives to do in Africa. And everybody in London, everyone, in fact, London one is one, it just makes me angry. They go to London just to dance like this. Everybody is dreaming of parties. No invention, no discovery, nothing. They are just living in London as if another animal farm. Nobody knows them. They are not recorded. In that same London self, they are a burden. Headache. They are not leading in anything. They are not, like me here, Every household name, not just in this country, in all the surrounding countries, know who I am, that I'm here. If they are in London, no human being in that London know that they are there, apart from their relatives. I'm not talking of white people, but me, I'm talking about white, all of them. They will tell you who Sunday Adelaja is. Because I'm using something with my head. I'm not going to be doing all this rubbish. Look at my wife. A young girl from Nigeria married me 21 years old she was. Look at what she's talking about. That lady is loaded like no man business. That's from Nigeria too, just by living with me. She became a human being, totally, complete. But when I see Nigerian women, what they are doing, I say, thank God, though, I don't know these people. I mean, look at Pastor Pose, another level. You don't see her doing all kind of things like that. She's too busy with her head, putting her head to use. Look at my children. Go and listen to my children. You will know what I'm talking about. They don't even know how they will be shocked to even see. I've not even shown them this part of lifestyle. They don't even know that people can live like this. They will just be totally they will just be broken. Look what was it like a basha. He had glass like a basha. You see, this is our whole life. Oh. Everybody wants to be big man. Big man for where? You don't create anything. You are just using. You are just consuming what other people created. Please, wait, call the thing for me. Write something there. The next HMT I've said I'm going to teach on principles of national transformation. And I mentioned another thing that I want to teach you on. What is the other thing? Questioning? The art of questioning. The art of questioning is another thing I said I want to do, right? Okay, I want to also do an HMT on low-yielding lifestyle versus high-yielding lifestyle. This is what we are talking about. This is low-yielding lifestyle. But if I'm going to do daily broadcasts about this thing, they are going to hate me more. They are going to kill me because I'm going to condemn all these are low-yielding animalistic biomass lifestyle. This low-yielding lifestyle. Do Germans do this? Yes. Do Americans do this? Yes. But once in a while, this is not their life. This is maybe 1/6 or 1/7 of their life. But Nigerian, this is their whole life is about this. All right. I'm sorry, guys. Let's go back to my notes. I'm sorry, guys.
Genesis 1:16 to 19. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. A job description is an act of order.
So this is the same thing we are talking about. We see order everywhere. God made two great lights. We have already read this, you know?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. We have already
read
this.
also.
You should be telling me that you have read it. It means I mistakenly pressed the thing. Yeah, here we are.
No,
here? Okay, we're here. Okay.
Genesis 1:24-25. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind.
What is this? Yeah, go ahead and finish.
And God saw that it was good.
What is this we are seeing here? We are seeing here vision casting. We are seeing here standards, requirements. These are all acts of order. These are all fragments of order, components of order, manifestation of order, vision casting. Can anybody see vision casting here? Standards, requirements. If not, let me show them to you. God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind. That's vision casting. Cattle and creeping things and beasts of the earth after his kind. After his kind, that is standard. It shouldn't be worse than that. It should be lower than that. That is standard. It has to be uniform. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, you say. These are requirements. These are job descriptions. These are visions. These are expectations. Goals. Goal casting. Vision casting. And everything that scripture was going to hear, and it was so. And God said it was good. And what is it was good? Who can tell me what that is? I didn't mention it here. What is this? It was good. Quality control. This is quality control right here. And God saw that it was good. He's watching over what he has created. He's not just assuming that because I'm the one who is it, that will be good. He's going over to check on what he has done. He's not living on assumption. Even though he created it, he has done his best. But he has to go and critique his own product. That's what he's talking about. He has to go and critique his own product. Cross-examination is called. He has to go and cross-examine himself, his work. And he has to give it a certificate of quality. He has to give himself. That, what you are seeing here, is the certificate of quality. Quality control and certificate of quality. Because, and he saw that it was good. But who knows, do you know that in this same chapter, if you want, only I just don't want to go into it, I will be distracted a little bit. There were places that he saw that it was not good. Even though it's God who did it. That is why review is always important. Quality control is always important. Somebody will now say, Pastor, where is it that he said it's not good? It's not possible. How can God do something that's not good? You see? Because you don't read the Bible. That's how you read your own Bible. When I show you now, you now be saying, I didn't know. In this same chapter is there. I should go back. That's taking you back. We will not finish the lesson today. You see? What the point you are supposed to remember is even God has to do quality control. If God had to do quality control, every one of us is required of us. Even when you yourself you are doing it. Talk less when you are giving other people to do. Then if God has to issue certificate of quality, or what do you call it? Quality. No, quality. Value of quality. Yeah? If God had to issue certificate of quality to himself and to his own work, more so we have to do the same thing. Okay?
Right. The world is not to be put in order. The world is order.
You see? The world is already in order. God created the world in order. Order helped God to create the earth.
It is for us to put ourselves in unison with
this order. That's what you are talking about, my sister. Order. God created the world in order. And we have to apply order and align with that order. Okay? Let's go. Let's keep on going. We'll come back to the videos later. Or is that the end? No, don't go to the video yet. Let's go back to the class. Okay, let's watch some videos. Let's watch some videos. Now, this country here is North Korea. How many of you know North Korea is the richest, is the poorest country in the world? North Korea is the poorest country in the world. North Korea, not South, though. North. See order. See order. See order. See greens. See buildings. This is your days. You see Pyongyang. Pyongyang Street. People don't have cars. Only 0.1% of the country have cars. And only 5% of the country have bicycle. The richest people in the country have bicycle like this. Every other person is walking, trekking like this. But see building. See order. See street. See clean street. See green. See pathways. They only have public transport. Mainly public transport, you see. Public transport, but see building. Order. Their budget, their revenue is about 10 times lower than Nigeria. The GDP of Lagos is about 10 times the whole GDP of this country. Lagos alone is 10 times the GDP of this country, this whole country. But you see bus stops, you see signs, you see buses, you see green in the city, you see cleanliness. Soon Nigerians will be asking for visa to go here. This is one of the poorest countries in the world. But thanks to order, see what order can do? So when people are telling me that it is poverty that is our problem, they are not serious. It is poverty of the mind. It is poverty of order. See order. See order. See clean buildings. Did you see Obafemi Awolowo University run down? You see? See real building here. Everything cared for. See crowd, but they are working not in the street. They are not selling in the street. They have places, park, everything arranged. You see? It is a God-forgotten country that everybody laughs against. You see? They don't have money, they don't have anything. But you see, they have life. When there is order, is wealth there, is more than resources. Order is more powerful than money. Order is more important than wealth. Now, when these people have wealth, when money will come, it's just a matter of, it's like Europe. It's like Europe. This is as good as Europe. And that's the poorest country in the world. See order. See? You see that the riches, the greater riches, greater wealth is order rather than money, rather than natural resources or any other thing. This country is under embargo. Every country now is boycotted. They only traded with China before. China now has boycotted them. Everybody has boycotted them. But you see what is happening. You see what's happening? You see architecture? See beauty? Order. You see no cars because they don't have money to buy cars. Individuals don't have money to buy cars, you see? But order. You see, it's not Korea, you see. You see? Perfect roads, signs. Even though there are no cars to ride here, but they are ready for it. I think they prepared something. In Nigeria, it would have been a good argument that we don't have cars now, so why build road? But this one, they don't have cars, but see the kind of cars. What is this? What is the kind of thing? Well, they don't have anything. But they have trees, they have proper order, they have crossroads, they have side roads, they have signs, they have just order. Mind-blowing, mind-blowing. Let's see another one. Let's see another video. Now, this is the Philippines. Now, Philippines is about the same kind of economy like Nigeria, about the same level of development. They have the same problems, the same sorrow as well. The same
Bring it on, just before 5. Matanakula.
Shows that.
Heading down to the river, my Buntag.
Check.
This is difficult coming down, look at this. Jeez.
This is how people go to school. This is another, what I'm trying to say is that Philippines is much more, it's like Nigeria, much more richer than that North Korea you just saw. You see how the people have to, how their citizens have to go to school, what they have to do to go to school. But North Korea, where they don't have anything, they don't have the 10% of the riches of the Philippines. This is like Nigeria, this is how people go to school. Look at how the children go to school. Just like Nigeria. Because there's no order. What I'm trying to say is that this country is about 10 times richer than the other country, but because of order, the poor country has everything perfect. But this is how they take the children to school here. Because nobody cares. No government. No government, no order. And people have to risk their life to go to school like this. You see? This is like Makoko, our own Makoko. You see how children go to school? It's easier to build a bridge than to make them go through all this suffering. You know, they are risking the life of a child to go to school and come back every day like this, just to go to school. Where is government? You tell me where is government is there. Even if you don't have government, consult any international organization. They will be able to provide something for you. Just think. Order. The lack of order will make heaven. The Philippines has so much riches, it's like heaven. It will make heaven become like hell. Because lack of order will make heaven, potential heaven, to become hell for you. Look, let's go to another one, Joe. We still have another video, right? Now let's see Tokyo, what order could do. Put voice, let it put voice. This is a crowded city, more crowded than Lagos. But thanks to order, see what is happening. This is more crowded than Lagos, but you can't tell. You see? You can remove the voice. You see order? You see, development, it is not the riches that count. It is the order of things. Putting things in order. Making everything work in their places. It's a busy day, busy town, thousands of people, but everybody going about their way of life. Crowded. I'm just doing the church for you to know that it's overcrowded, but even that is able to be managed. Because there is a place for people to walk, there is a place for cars to walk. Everybody living their lives. Okay, thank you. Let's put on the lights. Now I have to hear from your side of the story, all of you. What is your conclusion after today's class about the place of order? Who comes first? Okay, let us all stand up. And you remain standing until you speak. Who wants to be the first one to sit? So what are your thoughts and your conclusions for today's classes? Yeah, in general, and now.
Thank you, sir. It's been...
Move forward so that they will see you. Yeah, there. Yeah. There. Hello, Baba.
Yes, sir.
There.
Yes, sir.
No, forward there.
So my conclusion for today, actually, I've seen the difference.
Camera.
I've seen the difference between what the meaning of order in the poor countries and even the countries that we regard as being worthy. It's appalling to see that it's an eye opener for me, actually, that to learn in this session today that actually the more poorer you become and the more order, as a result of you having your order in place, that is what gives you
Genesis. Everything we're doing now is about Genesis. I'm just trying to tell you that the story of creation is a story of order. So I showed you from Genesis, then I'm showing you from life that where there is order, where we follow the order of Genesis, things work out. When we do things by order. When we don't do things by order according to Genesis, things don't work out. I show you that the whole nature, the whole humanity is based on order. The whole creation, everything is based on order. Stars, everything is all arrangement of order. And then when we function like that, things work out.
Yeah. And that brings purpose.
And that is the greatest wealth.
And that brings a goal. That brings a quality control. All those things that we see in developed countries that has been put in place, actually, it's the explanation
it's coming from the Bible.
It's the explanation of order. It's coming from Bible. Really.
Yeah.
So it's amazing for me to see, and much more revealing is that because that really touched me, that if we get a success or salvation in one area, there's always a darkness or obstacle that is also we need to be aware of.
But that is why all the Nigerian people, they don't know of this thing. So they are always telling you about demons, deliverance, Satan is after you, somebody in your village, somebody in your town, because they are living mystery. That is a sign of ignorance, mystery. So they are brainwashing people, telling them lies, because they cannot explain why people still have problems. And so the only explanation they have is demons and Satan
and the meaning of order even in our churches, the meaning of order to the ordinary the ministry that for the example that was shown here today, actually in our churches we use it in a different form. The order that are in our churches today is the order of position. The archbishop, the deacon, and actually,
we will talk about that. There is a place for that, but the way we are using it is out of order as well.
It is out of order. And even if you are to, if you say, well, if you come into your consciousness that you want to live where you've been for years and there is no progress, no purpose for you, actually, I mean, they will actually really, I was told that they will give you a position to tie you down, to manipulate you. So it's the way we understand order in our part of the world. It's an abuse of order, is to enslave us. That is what I've learned.
Maybe you want to talk because yeah.
Yes, Genesis made me love the.
You need to come to the camera here.
Oh, where's the camera? Made me love the German system even more, because they have such a precise economic system, from the planning, even the marketing, the vision, the marketing, the planning, and the truth, the quality control, etc., etc. At the beginning, I was saying, my God, why all these things? They even have software to manage your time, to count exactly when you do project management, for example. You can minute how long you've been working on a project, by the minute, the precise minute. And sometimes I would say, no, it's too much. We just, as Africans would say, no, we just need to make an approximate. But actually it makes sense now. It really makes sense, and really makes me love Germany and the system, and Switzerland actually even more.
For me,
if you have spoken, you can say.
For me, I don't know. I feel sad. Sad in the sense that I feel sad in the sense that we've been living in deep ignorance for so many years, especially the church. The church has been living under thick darkness.
Move forward a little bit.
I think now I understand when the Bible says, I think in
my
Isaiah,
people perish, eh?
No, when it says darkness shall cover the land and thick darkness. I think it's beginning to make sense to me now. And I was talking to a couple of us after during the break. I just said the church is ignorant, and I'm sorry to say our church leaders are also ignorant.
Of course.
Very, very ignorant. And we've been living a backward life, and we just need to.
I mean, they put us back in stone ages. The churches that Nigeria, the way churches are operated in Africa, in Nigeria, is burying you back in stone ages. It's not making you to be competitive with the world today, or for the world of the future. No. But what I am doing is to get you ready for the future, make you competitive, beat Europeans. I mean, look at members. If you go and talk to members, or go and listen to the stories of members of Embassy of God, any one of them, internet, go and listen to their stories. Even on my site, go listen to testimonies of members of Embassy of God. Mind-blowing stories. Impossible, just by all that they have been with me, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But the things they are doing, because they are taught well. How to use God's resources, God's energy, God's wisdom to conquer the earth. We being members of God, remember the only thing about conquering the earth, ruling, being the first, only. That's the only thing they know about church, being a Christian. What have we been doing? And they were just communists the other day.
And the analogy you gave, using the four of us, just honestly, just put a nail to the coffin to say we really don't have churches. We don't have church in Nigeria. We don't have Christianity in Nigeria. The way it's like it's a prison. It's a cage.
It's a cage. Prison.
It's a cage. It's a prison.
So I think I think that more. I hope that more and more to people like all of you who have been following me on DSA platform, that it's probably becoming clearer now why I'm so passionate like that. Why it's like I am a mad person. Why am I so passionate? No, it's because of because of what I know could be better. It's because of what I know, where I'm coming from. That things, I just know how things are supposed to function. So there's no way you will know that thing and not be passionate. People say I'm abusive, I'm insultive, and something like that. You have to just try to understand where I'm coming from. The gap is just too much. And I want to cover it fast. That's what why emotion takes the best of me. Sometimes.
Yeah, I feel sad because, like I said, destinies have been destroyed in those churches, and more destinies are being destroyed every single day. And like when you gave an explanation of Genesis and you talked about for every miracle that comes your way, there's an opposite darkness and all that. And this is what the church spend 90 to 95% of their time, if not 100%, praying against what they call as you understand?
Instead of putting demarcation
Praying
and turning it into a product.
Nobody has ever thought about that. I've never heard. I was talking to, I think it was Yanu. I said I've read, at least the only person I know that really teaches from Genesis is Miles Monroe. I've heard a lot of teachings, but I've never heard this before. I've never. So it just goes to show that I think we need a total overhaul of the system, especially the church, a total overhaul. And one thing I just want to take out from here, which I also want to encourage everyone to also do, is that they said if you can't change yourself, you can't change the world. So even while we talk about bringing order back into the society, it should start from our own personal life. This message applies to our own personal lives. It should start from our personal life. Put order back in the three different aspects. Put order back into our spirit, order back into our soul, our mind, then even our physical environment, one person at a time. Then by the time people start to see the difference in you, like they saw the disciples, that they said they are unlearned men, but they recognize that they've been with Jesus. So at least let people know that, okay, we've been with him.
What can this understanding of order do to Africa or Nigeria or where you're coming from? So how can this understanding even change you and your life?
It's already changing me. My head has been blown away. I just can't. It's just too much for me to take. I think I need to really sit down and think. At the time, I couldn't take any note. I just said, I think I'll just go back to the YouTube message and listen all over again. It's a total transformation. For me, it's a total transformation. So
what can they do for Africa?
Sir,
put off the projector, I guess.
It will be a total transformation for Africa.
If people understand.
A total, a 180-degree shift, completely. If we can, if everybody can imbibe this, and even like Justin was saying, that even if a lot of people don't get that order from within out.
Even if it's from external. Yes.
Yeah, if it is from external, if it is enforced, at least let them go out of the country or out of the continent to go and misbehave. But by the time they come back, they will conform.
Yes.
So I think we really need to have this. I think, and one other thing is, if we can find a way to get the people in power, the people in authority, the senators, the governors, especially the president.
That is what Nigerians are doing now. You saw what all those rich people who have money spraying, dancing, spraying, just instead of them to listen to this, to study. So most of them don't even think there is a necessary. They think they're already big.
Yeah. So I really...
No, move there to the camera.
Yeah.
Forward. That's what forward, yeah.
Yeah, so I see that we have not been executing God's management program.
Yeah,
because God made the earth and he put us on it and we're supposed to manage it. And instead of managing it, we're just dancing in church and doing nice things. I'm in Holland and we're in church, we're dancing as well and we're worshiping and that's really good, but at the end of the day, we don't produce anything. Yeah. And that's the knowledge what I'm getting now. And I've heard of us sending missionaries to Africa, sending money to Africa, but now I think with the knowledge that I get, instead of sending money, I could rather send them
knowledge.
A book.
Yeah,
or instead of sending a missionary to feed people and only feeding them, I could rather send people to teach them how to
Yeah.
organize and get orderly in every way. So yeah, it really hurts to see that there are so many beautiful countries which are poorer than African countries, and you know,
And they are
to
okay.
see the difference.
Yeah.
And the people there look happy, and you know,
Look at Moldova, look at North Korea. I mean, no money there, but they have order.
so it's really an eye opener that yeah, money is not the solution. They've been sending money for decades, for years, decades, so maybe centuries even. So that's not the solution. It's order.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was this one picture that I saw of Bill Gates and was it Warren Buffett, like standing side by side, and they were just wearing normal clothing, and under the picture it said, can you imagine that between these two people are almost $1 trillion, just between those two people? And it just kind of reminded me that when you're internally filled and you're satisfied and you've already laid the foundation of your personality, of your characteristics, of your life, you don't need outer materials to compensate that. And it's like with so many Africans, I don't want to, I hate to generalize.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, it's like they're lacking so much that they have to overcompensate. They have to put things on to feel worthy, to feel like they're important, to feel like they're significant. Like this video that I just watched, it just irritated me. It was just like,
Spraying money?
yes, it was just like, I understand, yes, party is okay, but you should not prioritize that. And I feel like with the Nigerian culture, just because I'm Nigerian, like we just regard celebrations so highly. And that should not be the case, especially if our own life is disorganized, especially in Nigeria, the whole country is just catastrophic. And I'll be seeing videos, so many videos of children dancing and just around poverty. And it's just like, why are we praising these things? The whole world is literally laughing when they watch videos like this. We're here competing over music and jollof rice, yet China is building robots that can talk and that can, like, what are we doing? We're so far behind, and I don't understand why. And it's like when you're not prioritizing, when your priorities are not in order, this is the outcome. This is literally the outcome. And it's just, I'm just so irritated. I know you feel sad. I'm angry because this is my own country, you know, and it's just a shame that all of this is going on. And I'm living in the West, and we're here talking about advancement of technology. And Nigerians, they just want to be focused on the wrong things. It honestly just angers me. That's all I can say about that.
And what do you think this station can do, though?
I don't even know what's wrong with the minds of Nigerians. I just think that we need to enforce order. I don't even know what to say about it because it just baffles me when I watch things like this. It's like, once you're done throwing money around, you're gonna leave the building and all you're gonna see is just disaster. Like you said, it's just temporary. The celebrations are temporary. And we're so far behind. It's a shame.
Wow.
Like, I'm just shaking inside of me. It's really mind-blowing. But I've learned that, you know, we've seen it from the Bible, how God orderly created the world. And the way he also structured us. And like with proving, you know, videos as we've seen about the countries that's implemented order in their system. So the conclusion is that for me, we really need order in our lives and also in our nation. We really need to imbibe this quality in our nation because that is, you know, that should be the foundation key that will bring transformation in our system. And like talking about in our own part of the world, like I know that we have been conditioned in our mentality, so we really need mental transformation. And one of the keys for mental transformation is getting the rightful knowledge. So I think we need knowledge in our world. Thank you.
Yeah, the statement that says a little is much if used the right way has literally gotten a new meaning. And I would add that a little is much if used the right way in an orderly manner. That's what I learned today, that sometimes, or rather most of the time from the examples we have seen here, it's not the resources one has, but what one does with the little you have. And what we have seen, when you hear North Korea, you hear dictatorship, you hear, but then if you look at the order, I was quite surprised that they have roads, good roads. They have cars, people are moving in an orderly manner. And then the contrast, which was the Philippines, was very different in that these people are free. These are people that have democracy. These are people that have imbibed capitalism. These are people that are basically the envy of the North Koreans in terms of freedom and freedom of expression and all that. But then if one was without the ideologies that each country offers, if you were to put a blank North Korean and a blank Filipino, and they were to decide which country would you choose to live in, just by showing them pictures in these videos, I'm sure
you rather go
everyone
to North Korea.
everyone will go to North Korea. So this actually speaks volumes, especially when we went through Genesis. We saw that how God created the universe and the earth, how he made order and he was dividing everything. Really, it really gives a new meaning to a little is much if used the right way in an orderly manner. Thank you.
For me, the Bible says that the kingdom of God is like someone looking for, when someone is looking for, when you're looking for something,
treasure,
a treasure, and you find it and you go and sell everything you have to acquire that treasure. Now, for me, I think that this is the most expensive asset that we all need to acquire. If in Nigeria we could see that this particular order that DSA is talking about today is the reason why we build beautiful houses, big cars, but we don't have homes. The marriage is not working. Nothing is working. Just because of simple order that we don't want to abide by. We don't even want to adopt it. Even when we hear the truth, we still fight it. Now, if I could take a picture of someone that is sick, and when you go to the hospital, and it happens that you're going to receive an injection, the first thing that will come to your mind is the pain. There are people that don't see it that way, but for me, I think about the pin that will go into my thumb. And it's painful to me, but still, I want to be well. I'll take the pain. That's the same thing the truth is. It's painful, but we have to take this pain to be able to restore that kingdom of God that we want, that kingdom of God that we want to see. Because I know that we all come from a place where we believe that the kingdom of God is not here. It's when we get to heaven. But with the orientation we are now having, with the new knowledge, with the new mindset, with the new lessons, is for us to begin to understand that purpose is order. now I never understood it that way. That purpose is order. I was thinking, purpose. Okay, I never thought about it to be order, but now I begin to understand that when you discover your purpose, the reason is for you to be able to walk in that purpose, to put order through that thing that you are meant, and that's your little space, and that's your Garden of Eden, to make it look like what God has made it to be from the beginning, or what the heaven, bringing down the kingdom of heaven to the earth. So if we can abide by this, if we call ourselves Christians and we believe that we serve one God, I think this is the time that every Nigerian should actually sit down and begin to think back. Why is it that everybody wants to run away from Nigeria?
Yeah, no order. It's not because we don't have money. We are not the poorest country in the world.
Yes.
In terms of money. But because there is no order, the poorest.
Yeah.
In terms of standard of living.
Even those of us that ran away, that are here, we are pumping money back there, but still people are running out.
Yeah.
Because the money is still coming back here again. As we are pumping it, it's coming back. Because the money will always follow order.
Yes.
That's what is happening, and that's what's happening to us. And I just pray that, in fact, it's paining my heart that so many people are not watching this program. So many people are not following. Even when when I discovered something, whenever DSA is playing any video, people come. The moment the video is finished, they run away. So, because we don't want to learn something new. We believe that some of us believe that once we are comfortable, we don't care about any other thing. But now, when he's talking about all this whole thing, you begin to see where his passion is coming from. That passion is supposed to be an anger converted to passion, and he's angry. He's looking at this and this thing can be solved. I can see it. I can structure it. I wish they could understand me. That's just like when Jesus was trying to get the high priest and the Pharisees to understand him. That is the same thing, but they have a different understanding of what the kingdom is all about. And they refuse. That's what is happening now. That's the same thing that we're repeating now. In fact, I got to a point where I began to understand that most times we read the Bible and we say, the children of Israel were in wilderness. They were there for 40 years. Some of us will be in this wilderness for 80 years. Some of us don't even know that we're in the wilderness. We're still reading the people of Israel. But our own wilderness is more than 80 years. Some are going to even die, not even going to the promised land, because purpose is the promised land. When you discover your purpose, then you are now living in your promised land. So if we can't even find our purpose, then it means we never, in fact, you didn't even recognize the Moses that is trying to help you. So that's the most important thing. I believe that it will work in Africa if we could abide by this thing, because so many of us haven't really seen the book of Genesis explained in details like this. I've never seen it explained in details like that. I've never seen it explained from the other parts. I've only seen it explained from the creation part, and everything was good. I never knew there was something bad. I never knew that there was mistake. I never knew that through other things were created. Now I'm beginning to have a new understanding, a different orientation. So it's a wonderful thing, and I thank you, DSA, for this revelation.
Thank you.
Okay. The only thing that I want to say here is this. About the teaching, the ball is now in our hands. We are the one now that have received the message, and it's now our duties to include other people who didn't receive this message. And then I think as we are leaving from here, we all should have a homework that how am I going to play a role for this message to be spread to reach other people that didn't hear this? Because it doesn't help, like, how many are we here?
Not many.
And then we just only us, like, you gain what you gain, you keep it for your own understanding, and that is it. Because looking at us, like, I think all of us here, we have Facebook. And then I think Some people, they have like more than 1,000, 3,000 people that are following them. If you just share this message on your wall, how many people are you going to reach? We know there's people that are a bit negative, who don't take things or what, but out of 1,000 people, 500 will get the message. Even 100, even 10, there'll be someone that will get this message. I started this since I started, I've been following this program on the Facebook. I follow my First Lady. I'm following her from our First Lady from Namibia. I'm following her on Facebook. Let me say we are following each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I started doing is this. Whenever the pastor, Dr. Sunday, is live, I used to invite all my friends. I include her. And there was a time she was there watching. I was just tracing her that, is she going to reject or is she going to follow? I was checking her. She watched almost 30 minutes. And then I achieved what I wanted. At least she listened what I wanted her to listen. And then is that the reason I'm bringing up this is this. This is just an awareness. Even us, when we started, when we seated here in the morning, nobody knew about these orders. Nobody. Everything have a beginning, and then my only message is this: we should just pass the message to the next person.
True?
Next person, next people.
Okay. Thank you.
And then about our countries, I don't know. Sometimes I think that I don't know if our leaders are not aware or it's just a matter of ignorance. Because what I know is that there's a saying that said, when you can only be able to do corruption at the dirty place.
Yep. That's so true.
Meaning that in that dirtiness of Lagos, as you people are saying and complaining, that's how they make their money. If you imagine cleaning up that city and putting everything in order, nobody will be able to make any corruption there, because whatever they will try to do, everybody's seeing. Now in that rubbish, there's a lot of things that are hidden there.
In darkness.
That you can't be able to see. But the moment they put everything in order, you will see that, this car today was standing at that house. It's a minister's car. What was he doing there? But in this dirtiness, they are there. And you won't see them. That is their way of manipulating also. That's how they are surviving. Thank you so much. Let me not waste time.
Thank you.
I see this as an exposure to hidden truths. So, order is key to positivity, good life, and total transformation in Nigeria. And then, even as it seems to me that he's urging us to accept his proposition on this order being what we need in Nigeria, I have learned to see it as a responsibility, being creatures of God. We've learned that from today's teaching that our Creator is someone who wouldn't just create, but dealt with order, compatibility, arrangements, and separation of things. So, being the works of his hand, we are supposed to imbibe that character too, of dealing with, being of orderliness, dealing with that and appreciating that. So generally, the stress on order being the key to transformation in Nigeria is very much important, and us as Nigerians are supposed to see sense in this. We're supposed to comprehend with these things. It's worth it.
What do you mean, the sense in orders? Did you say the sense or the
Yes.
pressure on others?
The sense in it, I mean, you're not putting any pressure on it. I mean, it's sensible, it's
Okay.
understandable
Mhm.
to see that
It's
this-
logical.
It's quite logical
Okay.
to see that this is what we need to get things well. I mean,
Do you think it can help Nigeria?
I believe so. I mean, I very much believe so. I mean, it's key to, it's very much important. I mean, everything revolves around orderliness. Everything revolves around order. Everything, I mean, that's basis to what we need in Nigeria. This is quite important.
Okay. You have your opinion. Good, 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 good. Go ahead. Tell us.
I just want to say that for most, I just want to say that for most people that that might have phones and they live inside an unordered country and they see that this
Beautiful.
they see that these countries don't know what order is and what they think
Yep. Good, good, good. So they don't see, when they live in, those people who live in disorderly country, they don't notice it, or what? Can you say that again?
for most people that live in an unordered country and they have phones and they're seeing that they've been put on YouTube or something like that,
Mhm.
and they know that their country is very
Poor.
but they're not doing anything about it. And then when
Yeah, and that's the problem, because even here in Europe, a lot of Africans, and because we are living in Europe, we refuse to do anything about it because we think I'm no more living there. So that is the illusion of a lot of foreigners, a lot of Africans who live in England and live in Europe, because we think everything is okay here anyway. And what you are thinking is, why is it that we come from places where there is no order, and we can see through YouTube and other places that they have things done differently and better in other places, yet we are not responding? That is what he's talking about. And I'm so glad that someone like you, who is so young, you are already thinking of that, how is it that you come from a country that there is no order, and you see video, other places that, and you are not doing anything. And that is God using a child to speak to our hearts that we have to take responsibility. Everybody has to take responsibility. Thank you. Beautiful. Who is next?
Thank you so much, DSA. I think we've always, you've been talking about this for a while now, at least since I've met you. You talk about values, and but in this HMT you are specifically talking about order. And we've seen through the videos you've shown the difference order makes between different countries, and how order, or the lack of it thereof, has proven to be the difference between the social well-being of countries, irrespective of their resource. You know, if one would think that this is just within the African context, we've seen it also proven in Asia by looking at Philippines and also looking at North Korea. And we see the whole structure in place, even though, yes, they have authoritarian government, but we can see the structures, we can see how things have been built and how things move and how the people are, I mean, going about their day. We've seen in Tokyo. In fact, Tokyo, like you mentioned, because South Korea, Japan is a very overcrowded nation, a very small island with over 120 million people. So when you look at Tokyo, it's like the most crowded city in the world. But yet with order, they get things done. You need to see them in their, there's a, this time there, I forgot the name.
Their rush hour.
Rush hour, yes, sir. Even within the rush hour, I mean, the space is not enough for them, but the way they still manage to put themselves in and they'll be smiling. If it happens in Nigeria, someone would have just punched you from back. But you can see that because order has been a part of their system, is a part of their culture, now it makes things work for them. And the pastor was showing the video and you could see even within that space, you cannot tell, you can't tell. But in that place, there is like high density of, I mean, in terms of people living compared to space that they have. So we've seen in clear pictures, and pastor has given us the empirical evidence of what order can do and what the lack of it, how we can suffer from the lack of it. When you look at Philippines in the same context, in the same Asian context, and you see that they are suffering just like Nigeria, same problem, lack of order. When you look at, there's a city in Mexico, and it borders with another city in the US. When you look at it from the area view, you'll just see how one is disorganized, and you see how one is arranged. So one can see that it's not about land mass or resource, because potentially they have the same resource, because it's just, the difference is just probably a fence that acts as border. They have the same cultural background, but a government or a system instills order in one, while the other is lawless. And so they have high crime rates, drug problems, they have every sort of things. So I think that once we can imbibe order in our nation, in a nation such as Nigeria, in a nation as complex as Nigeria, I think we'll begin to see that things will begin to fall in place. So thank you for...
How can Genesis help in this?
Yes, how can Genesis help in this? For instance, I started a project, and I was blessed enough to have listened to your Genesis analysis at a point before. So in doing that now, I set up a system, and in setting up such system, there's a check that I have in place to see how that system is working. We criticize it, then from there we build another product from the system we have. So I think if we understand the Genesis principle and we begin to set systems in place, we don't just let the system run without doing some critiquing and analysis and seeing how we can get things better and building more products from the next thing. So on a more practical terms, let me just say from how I have applied that, sir, Project 30 before 30 in Nigeria now, we are putting kids back in school. So after the first term, we've been able to analyze our results. We've seen things to do better. We've seen how to undo things better. So from just that self-critiquing and going, I mean, from the system that has been created, because from learning from you now, I started building from down up instead of from building up down. What do I mean? I did not just build system that was not putting the goal, achieving the result at mind, you know, just setting up office and people will be there but not getting the result done. So we start from getting the result done. And so because of that now, critiquing the result, now we are building another product called, that we'll be working with a guy in Nigeria, Vocus Lender.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with that, we are now working with a specific group in Ajegunle, just from the basis of the Project 30 before 30. So while that is running on a broader scale, because of the critiquing and improvement that we want to make in now, we are now looking at, okay, there's a location where we can always get people. And from there again, we've now noticed that there's even still another place in that same Lagos that's even worse. So just by critiquing, we are giving birth to more product, and it's getting better. And because of that and the system in place, many more people are coming on board, and we are spreading, even without publicity yet. Even without publicity yet. So I'm just imagining when we are now finally registered my foundation in Nigeria, and we start publicity with the trust that we've been able to gather over the years. So just doing that, just applying the Genesis principles, we are getting more results, and just using that order, things are falling in place.
Excellent. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunday, for this awesome teaching tonight. Like I said, so many things that I studied before, or maybe I'd been taught before, are just putting themselves together. They are making meaning. They are making sense. Like, for example, in business school, one of the things that is emphasized again and again to us is what is called imageology. That is how people perceive your business organization. And that is why a lot of companies devote a lot of money into advertisements, into putting themselves out there, into branding and all those kind of things. I think in just 2017 alone, over $600 billion went alone into advertisement all over the world. So people are always trying to, project themselves. And basically what it means is just you are using little to show a bigger image of yourself. So you want people to see you bigger than you actually are. But listening to Dr. Sunday's teaching tonight, I actually discovered that we don't need all of that where there is order. Because order itself is a magnifier. Like the example of Moldova that we saw and some of those smaller countries. So even though they don't have so much, but the little that they have will be perceived like 15 times, 20 times bigger than it is. So that is for me, is an extremely important. In fact, one of the things I was just thinking is how to bring this to, like, other people who are into what I do and all those things like that. So I also understand that this teaching tonight, if well applied, is capable of reducing the sickness rate in Nigeria at least by 2/3. And I will explain. At least by 2/3. I'm too convinced. Why did I say so? One, generally medicine diseases are classified into either infectious diseases or cancers, tumors, or the third part is the degenerative disease and all that. Now, infectious disease is absolutely nothing but just disorganization. When Ebola happened the last time in Africa, it ravaged the whole of Sierra Leone, Liberia, entered into Nigeria and caused some damage and all that. And then one of my doctor friends was saying to me that, do you know this same Ebola that is killing a lot of people in Western Africa, that Germany had sensed it 2 years before. And they had been putting measures in place just in case something like this comes up. So in Ukraine, for example, they have a system in which if somebody comes to the hospital, let's say a child comes to the hospital with reports a case of diarrhea or something like that, they have a system that automatically positions that child, everyone the child has been in contact with, everyone who the child has been in contact with, and where they live, and everything like that. So within a little space of time, that disease is curtailed so that it doesn't spread everywhere. I don't know if I'm making meaning with that. So if this teaching of order is put in, and it's just a single software on the computer that Ukraine uses for that. At least I'm sure of ARCOV, that is what basically they use to curtail infectious diseases so that it doesn't destroy the city. So we can bring order into place. We can narrow things down. And of course, that is one thought. If infectious disease will be eliminated or reduced to the barest minimum, then the other issues of cancer. In Germany, I'm told, also by my doctor friends, that if you come to the hospital, let's say you have, headache, I have some headache, or you make certain complaints, the doctor does not just look for the etiology, does not just treat that. They actually run scans series of scans of the entire body. So Germany have a system in their healthcare that can detect tumors 5 years before it actually manifests. So, and they would have done, you know, whether it's chemotherapy they want to do or whatever form of therapy they want to use to. Now, the greatest reasons why cancer kills people a lot is because it is detected late. In fact, that is the major reason.
Lack of order.
Lack of order. So
lack of structure, lack of organization.
If it is detected early, tumor has no reasons to be killing people because it would have been trapped, it would have been, you know, whatever thing needs to be done, either radical surgery or whatever thing. So that is another second part of major, imagine all the tumors and all the things that come with it. That is already 2/3 of diseases. Healthcare in Africa will be radically changed if we understand the principle of order. So these teachings are, sometimes I'm so scared in my heart that maybe Dr. Sunday really came ahead of his time. Maybe, I'm thinking maybe, maybe the world is really not ready for him, you know. But I know that, sir, these things are generational teachings. These things are, they are
fundamental.
treasures. These things are, they are things that even 300 years from now, 400 years from now, 500 years from now, it will always be relevant. They will still be speaking. Because 500 years from now, we'll still be talking about, you know, meteorology, branding, we'll still be talking about public health, we'll still be talking about all of this. And these things will always be relevant to finance, to healthcare, to organizations, to personal life, to nations, and things like Muhammad Ali used to say that a lot of times when he wants to do certain things, he said people will come talking to him and say, Ali, don't do that, Ali, don't do that, Ali. And he said, the people that are telling Ali, don't do that, he said they have not even left the ground, whereas he's up there. And they are whispering to him up there and say, don't do it, don't attack, because what he is seeing, you know, they cannot see it. And it's unfortunate also because religious organizations in Africa, they are not seeing these things. It's so sad. Like I was saying yesterday that, unfortunately, rather than for us to promote these values, we are actually destroying these values. We are preaching against these values. We are preaching against order. We are enforcing disorder into the people. So people want these, nobody wants the systematic things, the systematic procedures. We want the sordine and something that shoots up like a cancer too, that just suddenly erupts the instant, you know. So these are my reactions to the teachings tonight, and I've really, really been blessed by that.
There are two questions here. Somebody is saying, how do we spread this? Everybody is realizing that this has to be spread in Nigeria. First of all, we have to tell people to go and share right now. Share, both YouTube and Facebook. But the idea, what are the things people could do? Because people on YouTube, I'm reading the comments, and they are saying what is really needed is that this information has to get to where it's mostly needed. What do people say about that? And another question, okay, if you would not answer that, then maybe you will answer this next question. No, wait. This other person is writing and saying, things in Nigeria and Africa are getting worse because people like you, like Dr. Sunday, prefer to stay abroad and throw stones at your country. How come there is nothing good in your dictionary about Nigeria? So I would not like to answer that. I would like people like you
All right.
to address that.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So it's just like the illustration I used the other time, that you have a pinnacle in which that you have built yourself into. And then there are just some people, you know, I don't know, whatever, maybe sub-zero, whatever ground we want to call that. And they are saying, don't do it. Don't do it, it's dangerous. That is basically what it is. It's just such a mindset is, I don't want to use the word blocked, but that is what is coming to my mind. It's actually blocked. You know, when the mind is blocked with sentiments, the mind is blocked with perhaps hatred, hatred for the truth and things like that.
But
It's
this
just
guy,
passion
he just needs to do little research. I just don't know how people are so presumptuous. If he does little research, he will know that it's not that I don't want to come.
And you are
If he
even
does
doing-
little research, he will find out about my Nigerian transformation project. Just coming on and immediately, you don't even give yourself benefit of a doubt. Could you be wrong? Well,
was even saying that if not even arriving yet, you are doing more than many of the people that are on ground that have been there for
and he
years.
said I only have bad things to say. So is it bad things how to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world? Is it bad thing how to Nigeria economic overtake America economy? Are those bad things?
It's just wafting things. It's wafting. And I also understand that such people might, at the end of the day, come to their senses and perhaps be capable of analytical thinking, maybe realize for themselves what is really happening, and then they may also align themselves with the truth. So for such a person, we won't give up on them still. We can only hope that they reason and they think.
With respect to what we can do, I've just thinking like what my sister said. Yeah, it could be a starting point. I was just sharing with Baba here that every one of us, we can begin to follow all our political leaders on all social media, say Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that. And once we share this message, it will also show up in their pages. So by the time they start getting the message over and over and over again, at least one day they'll say, okay, what's going on? Let me check and let me see. That could be a way. And I think it's if there's a way we can also like, I don't know if it's a kind of like a presentation to our leaders. Our leaders need to hear this. We, the people, we can keep hearing and keep hearing, but because we are not in a place of authority to actually do it from the top down. What we can begin to do is to do it from the bottom up. So I think it's just sharing the information as much as we can with our friends, with our families. Yeah, like our sister said, out of 1,000 people, yes, maybe 100 people. That's a good start. Maybe 100 people. I know that it will continue to spread. It will continue to spread, and people will continue to hear it. And like I said, a couple of people are coming up with projects. Some people are passionate about education. I think, like we've said before, getting this information on a radio station, going to schools. We can go to schools, maybe flash drives, put the messages on flash drive, or maybe CDs, and share with them. We can even organize maybe like 30 minutes, 35-minute sessions, even if it's once a week, in conjunction with maybe the principals of the school. We could do it in the university. We can even organize like maybe a music concert or things like that. Gather everybody, because Nigerians love music. And in the process of the music concert, you play these videos for them and show them. Gradually, mindsets will begin to change. There's so many ways we can reach Nigeria, because it's such a large country with a lot of people. And we can also work in partnership with local government councils, head office, and do like rural, what's it called? A rural kind of like a presentation, town hall meetings that we have, town hall meetings. And also try and see if we can identify with governors, like somebody like El-Rufai, who is an intellectual person, and a couple of other governors. Begin to talk to them, and yeah, they could invite us. Okay, what do you have? What do you have to say? And well, a couple of us will present to them and say, look, this is what we have on ground, and this is how it can help.
Okay, someone is asking me a question here. DSA, do you think having a mega church as you used to have was a mistake. No. The bigger your church you have, the more resources. I just told you what I would have done with 4 people now. What about if it's 1,000 people and it's put in order like that? Or 100,000 people. That's why we've been able to attain this result we had in Ukraine. Because of mega church. So mega church is advantage. But not mega church just to be gathering crowd. Not mega church just to make people come sit down and go back home. Or becoming to jump. Every week jump and jump, jump, jump. Without bringing any benefit to the nation. Or expanding the kingdom. That's not the kind of mega church we're talking about.
Well, a very big thank you, DSC, for what you've been teaching. Not just this HMT, but everything you're doing. I'm overwhelmed because more like in my heart, I'm more like sad and weeping because there could be more than 3, but I can see 3 glaring tragedies in Nigeria right now. Number 1 is that darkness is the order of the day. Darkness has overwhelmed the nation. That's number 1. Then number 2 is Nigeria is a typical example of the blind leading the blind. So imagine people are in a dark room, worse off, they are blind. And then the third tragedy is that Nigerians have been made to believe that nothing can be better, so they are pretty contented with what they have. That is the reason why.
But in the morning, Christian said this teaching has totally, it was also Christian, even Christian and Ezinwa, that this teaching out order has made them to totally change that perception that Nigeria is unchangeable.
Exactly. So that's what is happening with you. That's exactly where I'm going to. That what your teaching is doing right now is that your teaching is bringing light to that darkness. Number 2 is that it's like finally we have seen someone who is not blind and who can see what we have not seen. Christian was saying something to me the other time, that looking at how you explained just one verse in Genesis, this is a scripture that no GO, no pastor has explained. And what you were saying was that what you just explained is you just did surface on it. Now imagine that was just the surface that you did on Genesis chapter 1 that has been in our Bible all these years. It's not like you just brought it out and you're like, guys, this is a new scripture. This is what has been there all this while. But for all these years, I've not heard, and I stand to be corrected, I've not heard anyone bring an exposition on that scripture as you just did. So it's a typical example of ignorant people, copycats, leading the church into even more darkness. So, but what your teaching has done right now is that now you're bringing light. You're opening the eyes of people. You know, there is that enlightenment right now. It's like everyone is having that eureka moment, that light bulb moment, that bam, this has been here all this while. But it's just like the story of the Ethiopian eunuch who was reading, and he couldn't understand what he was reading. He had the script, he had everything there, but he couldn't grasp it. And I believe one of the reasons why God even established the church, Christ established the church, was for the church to be a lighthouse, for the church to be a place where people are enlightened to understand who God is, to grasp the mind of God, and for them to begin to think like God, and for the light of God to flood their hearts so they can be and operate like God on earth. But the sad thing, however, is the reverse is the case. We go to church today, there is really no enlightenment. What we have in church today is just superficiality at its peak. People are just coming to church just to be. I know exactly what I'm saying. It is all about superficiality. And the church is not even helping people to realize not what is in philosophical books. Because I remember during one of our Ask Dr. Sunday show, people were like, DSA, why are you bringing philosophy into Christianity? Why are you reading philosophical books? Hey, brothers and sisters, Genesis chapter 1 is not philosophy. It's in every Bible. And this is him explaining, revealing to us how God operates and how we're meant to operate here on earth. So, how do I think and what am I thinking right now as to how this can affect Nigeria practically? For me, I think listening to this thing right now. But even much more than that is for everyone listening to this video to make it a point of duty not just to have this as head knowledge. Because having this information just in your head would not lead to any transformation in your life and even in your community. But if everyone listening to this video makes it a point of duty to make all of these lessons, especially what we're doing right now on order, to make it your own life goal and to make yourself become that epistle. Because there is more that can go, there's so much can actually be spoken. But I've come to realize that people easily believe whatever concept or whatever thing you're proposing by just seeing the results that you have. You can speak and you can go on the rooftops and talk about a lot of things. But if people cannot see that you're saying these things, what are the results? What have you produced with what you're saying? It becomes even more difficult for you to convince them, because whatever thoughts they have, they're already convinced in it. So for them to be brought out of that conviction, then they must see the results that you have. So what am I saying in essence? It is that everyone who is listening to this video right now, we have to make it our own responsibility. Just like the young man said, we have to be responsible and make sure that we make this our lifestyle. And also, after making this our lifestyle, to make sure that everyone within our vicinity, because all of us, we have 1 or 2 or 3 people who are within us. And then, that's how it goes. So, you influence the people who are around you, and then through that, those people that you've influenced, they also pass that influence to everyone around us. That is going to be very helpful, so that it's not just head knowledge. For example, you can see from Dr. Sunday's life that what he's teaching us is not just coming with revelations, because that's what we have in churches. I have pastored, and I know exactly what it looks like. People just go to the Bible to just look for something good that sounds well. Not because they've tried it, not because their life even works by it, but because they just want to give something good, to sound nice, for people to shout, hey, Rema. For people to say, hey, Pastor, this is deep. And they are good with it. But coming to share things that you have imbibed and you have seen the results, and then you want people to also learn from it, there is nothing compared to it. The second strategy I'm thinking, and I believe that...
Sorry, before you go out to the second strategy, somebody is asking, when is the next HMT? They want to begin to register. Okay. I know it's the first week of April, but the dates, do you have the dates? Okay, it's the first week of April. Then some of them are talking about the books. For you to get the book, write to dsasbooks@gmail.com. Or you could go and read them for free on Kindle Unlimited on Amazon.
All right. So the second strategy I'm thinking that can work is what has worked for Dr. Sunday and what has worked so much for Daddy Freeze. It's amazing how the whole nation just knows Daddy Freeze. Have you guys thought about it, or Dr. Sunday? There are people who are talking, but how come everyone is just saying Daddy Freeze, Daddy Freeze, Daddy Freeze? Well, the secret is only dead people actually can live. What I've realized is that if you're not ready to lose your life for a cause, you can't do much for it. I mean, if you are still careful about your life, careful about people not misunderstanding you, or careful about people not getting attacked, we are not going to get this message out. Well, for the little that I have done as a person, using my Facebook account, my Facebook platform to share the truth, I know exactly what it means. That this message will never, we can keep saying it, we can keep commenting that we need to get this message out, we need to get this message out. But that doesn't get the message out. Because if you're going to share these truths, these things are they're counterintuitive. They're not counterintuitive necessarily, but they are counter people's logic. Because people don't subscribe
to religion.
Counter religion. So if you're going to put your face and then not trying to go incognito, but you want to use your face and say, I want to propagate this truth, you have to be someone who you have lost every iota of yourself, wanting people to love you, wanting people to accept you, but you are ready to lose everything for the truth. You are ready to lose friends, families, loved ones, and go straight to declare the truth. And that's what Daddy Freeze did. He didn't care. He didn't care who was going to say he's the son of the devil or he's anything or people that will leave him or nope. He just knew exactly what he wanted to talk about, especially with the tithes. He went ahead, spoke his mind, addressed people, the real culprits. Because we can be saying, just like what Pastor has been teaching, Pastor has taught about truths. He taught about art of thinking. But people still did not get it. The message did not really go out. But notice when Pastor started making it very vivid, clear, that, hey, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the example of the paganistic things that are happening in the church. Then the message got to those pastors. So the same thing can also work where individuals who have really decided to be propagators of these truths, they lose every iota of themselves. They die to themselves, and then they find a cause to lay down their life for. Because I have studied great men, and I've realized that the people that emerged as great people in history were those who found something worth dying for. Not something worth living for, but something that they could stake their life on. And they're like, until I see this accomplished, until I make sure that this thing I'm seeing that should happen, even if I would have to die for it to occur, I'm going to die. Those are the kind of people.
So we need people to volunteer with their life to push this message of order.
True.
To campaign for it, to propagate it. Do anything for
anything for it. Anything for it. If we have people like that, what I'm very sure is that it doesn't take much. It just takes people who are dead to actually do it. You don't have to be dead. They are going to hate you. They're going to tell you are sick. They will tell you don't know what you're saying. They'll tell you you're a fool. But you know what you're saying. You know exactly what you're talking about. You are grounded in it. And just time will reveal it. That exactly what you're saying, you keep chasing it until you get there, and then people will be like, thank you for not giving up, because you, just like Martin Luther, today he's never forgotten, and he will never be forgotten, because the guy found something to live, to not just to live for, but to die for. And the black race in America would keep on celebrating that man. And that's the same story with anyone who is great. Check it out. They all found something to die for. And they found something to stake their life for. And that's the reason why even Jesus said that in this kingdom, the only people that actually get to live and get their life are the ones who lay down their lives. But in this kitchen, if you're trying to preserve your life, you will end up in non-entity. Thank you so much, Pastor.
Okay, everybody has spoken? Okay, now I want to encourage everyone else. I don't know which ones of this book they have spoken about and which one they have not spoken about. You did, yeah? No? Okay. When I say that, yeah, how to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world is true. I believe it. Get the book and get to know how. So it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. How American economy can overtake, Nigerian economy can overtake American economy. No joking. I mean it. You read the book and you become a believer too. But this one, the creative and innovative power of a genius. This is another principle that is necessary. Creativity and innovation. Everybody can become one. And I'm sure some of you saw my video on innovation. And the reason why I've not been producing more is just because we don't have editor. I've actually produced about 20 or 10 or so. But only we are not releasing them because we just need editing. But everybody, this is the book about it. You can become creative and innovative. Everyone. Of course, the mountain of ignorance, that's our biggest problem that we're facing. Problems, your shortcut. 7 tips to self-fulfillment. How to build secured financial future. How to regain your loss. I think what we even need is not for you to buy the books. You don't need to buy the books. We need distributors more. So, and you make 60 to 70% on every book. So if you want to be distributed, we need this knowledge to fill the whole of Africa, especially, and Africans in diaspora, and America. Now, there is a new phenomenon that we're having now. I'm writing this book, I'm more concerned for Africans, frankly speaking. But what I'm seeing now is that Americans are the ones now coming to buy them. They are ordering everything. White Americans. They are saying, we come across one. They want to order everything on Facebook, on YouTube, on Amazon. I say, I'm not writing for Americans now. They say, no, we want. But we need Africans to begin to read. So that's why we need distributors to popularize this for us. Where there is problem, there is money. Insulted by ungodliness. Someone just wrote to me today that he started reading Insulted by Ungodliness for 2 days now, and he cannot put it down. Kingdom-driven life. What to do with time. This is another wealth. What to do with your time. You know, the next generation of Steve Jobs, and I don't know who has read this, is an easy thing to raise next generation of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. It is easy. And by the time you read this book, you will discover that it is easy to raise up those. Miles Monroe, How to Deal with Tragedy. People dying early and tragic deaths. This is my biography. If you want to know my story. I discovered that people don't know my story. Eh? People are saying, okay, like this guy who just wrote now. Why are you sitting down there and saying bad things? They don't know the story, you see. Church shift. That is a revolution that has been done in Ukraine, and it can be done in Nigeria as well. Who am I? Help people to discover who they are. No one is better than you. This is how Africans can rule the world. I've done it. I've been able to rule as a black person, and I know what it takes and how to do it. Everybody can be one. But this one here, how Africans brought civilization to Europe. And then another one that is not here. I don't know if you people will be able to print some of these books before the end of something, especially the latest ones. The purpose and calling, discovering the purpose and calling of every nation, for example, is one of those. And please go look for it. It doesn't matter what country you are from, but it's on Amazon already. You can get them for free. The Nigerian economy, the way forward. Only God can save Nigeria is a myth. Nigeria and the leadership question can be resolved. The dignity of labor, latent energy, let the heroes arise, veritable source of energy. So many books, I can't even begin to. But listen, distribute it. You don't even need to read everything yourself, but get it to people's hand. Help people to open up their mind. This thing I'm talking about here, you discover that, there are so many other things to learn that are already written out there in the book. This one, we have to write a book about it, I guess, on order. I think we need books, not just one book. Or what do you people think? On order. Huh? We have to have it. On law and order in general, yeah? Microphone for him. If you can do what?
Like a documentary.
Documentary, beautiful, yeah.
Because that I know Nigerians will easily sit down and watch maybe a 20 minutes, 30 minutes documentary rather than, because I know Nigerians hardly read.
But to do documentary, you have to write a book, though. Yeah. Then from the book, you do documentaries. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Films come from books because you need to write scripts.
Yeah,
too.
and we can also do like extract an audio out of the documentary that can just be playing on radio or in schools.
So that it doesn't consume too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. It's been nice being with you.